to 29, 20. Okay. So today we are going to solve the pin problem. Okay. So basically what we have a pin like this. So this is cylinder head, or maybe some ball you can consider. Okay. So this is denoted as W. This is called as width, whereas this is length of the pin, and this length is denoted as thickness by W. Okay, so this is how the configuration of any fin is there. So basically convection will be from this direction as well as from this direction. Okay, and generally this end is considered to be insulated. Okay, that is what is the case. Or there is no heat transfer from this, or if there is any kind of heat transfer, that is negligible, and that is why we consider this to be a insulated. Okay, so very negligible amount of heat transfer is taking place on this direction. But of course, the direction of the heat flow will be like this, and of course, because of this convective load, there will be a resistance acting on each and every element. Okay, so in case I can convert this as a one-dimensional problem like this. So this is my length of the fin. Okay, and my Q is going in this direction. So this is how the one-dimensional fin is there, as the cross section is remaining same. Okay. Now considering the thickness is very small, therefore the cross-sectional area and the perimeter, they are cancelling each other. Okay, this is what is the assumption, that since the thickness is very small, cross-sectional area and perimeter is cancelling each other. This is what is the main assumption here in this case, and that's what always happens. Okay, and therefore we can simplify the formulation. So basically a stiffness matrix is given as K by LE, that is length of element. Okay, I won't be using A because A is going to get cancelled from all the sides. So I'll be writing all for unit area. Okay, so not to consider area in case of pin. So already these are the terms we are using. Okay, so it will be 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Okay, this is for the K, and of course there will be stiffness because of the convective heat transfer. So additional stiffness will be added. There will be resistance to flow the heat from the fin to the atmosphere, and that act as an additional stiffness, and that stiffness HT I denote it is given by H into LE by 3T. So you have to mug up this formula. Okay, H into LE by 3T. So I also tends to forget this formula many times because it's a very rare scenario even for me to go through with the heat transfer problem. Okay, so I've just noted down on my notebook this formula, and I'm writing here. So it's also difficult for me also. So 2 1, 1, 2. So this is the additional stiffness which is being added because of the convective heat transfer. Okay, and there will be a load R ambient. So of course this is actually equal. Okay, assuming perimeter and cross-sectional area, their variables are cancelling each other, and therefore perimeter and the cross-sectional area is not coming into this picture. Okay. If the width is not given, always take unity. Okay. And generally this W is cancelling out because of this factor only. Okay. So width is nowhere taking into the picture as perimeter and cross-sectional area is taking care. Okay. R ambient is equal to H into, so this is the load basically applied by the atmosphere. So atmosphere T ambient is there. So it is acting as a load onto this fin. Okay. So therefore their convective load we have to add it, and that will be H into T ambient LE by 2. So it is just like a, not by 2, by T. Okay. So this is heat transfer. So by T, and it will be 1, 1, just like a self weight. Okay, just like a self weight it is acting. H into T ambient LE by T 1, 1. Okay, so this is additionally a load, and this is also nearly equal as a cross-sectional area and perimeters. Their parameters trying to cancel out each other. Okay, so just let me know whether you understand this formulation, please. So at least formula did you understand? Any say if handwriting is not visible or not able to understand? Okay, fine. Okay. So on this basis, we are trying to solve. Okay. So the derivation of this is not expected. Okay. But I'll tell you 99.99% the problem on the fin will appear in the examination. That's the very sure. Okay. So I just go with the problem. You may write down, or instead of that I will draw the figure, so that itself create a numerical. So this is the fin, and this is the wall whose temperature is given as 235 degrees Celsius. Okay, the conductivity of the fin is 360 watts per meter per degree Celsius. Okay, and the thickness of the fin is 0.1 centimeter or 1 mm you can consider, and the length is 10 centimeter long. Okay, so we have to determine the temperature distribution and heat loss. Okay, temperature distribution and heat loss. You can write down temperature difference and heat loss considering T ambient equal to 20 degrees Celsius with overall heat transfer coefficient 9 watts per meter square per degree Celsius. 9 watts per meter square per degree Celsius. Okay, so generally it is not, if it is not given, so do take around 5 watts. So एक लक्षात ठेवून घ्या नोट मध्ये Okay, if it is not mentioned, take H is equal to 5 watts per meter square per degree Celsius. So you read any kind of research paper, okay, with the natural convection, the overall heat transfer coefficient is 5 watts per meter square per degree Celsius. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so and W they have mentioned as to be 1 meter, so it is not going to come into my picture. So it is not given, always take unity. Okay, and you have to say assuming the pin is insulated at the other end. That is what your assumption is, and that is how it has been derived. Okay, so let's divide this into 3 elements. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. So this is node number 1, node number 2, node number 3, and this is node number 4. Okay, now 3 length. So what is the length? Total length is, sorry, this is not LE, total length is 10 centimeter. So therefore length of each interior element will be 3.33 centimeter. Okay, now you have to convert into meters. So that will be, of course, you have to multiply 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. Okay, this is what is the length. So I go into next page now. Okay, so it's better to go next page. So I prepare K, that is conductivity upon length of the element, 1 minus 1 1 minus 1. Okay, of course connected table 1 2 1 2 that will come. Okay, and this is equal to conductivity is 360. This is divided by 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 2, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Okay, so just let me know this value please. Okay, so 10810.8, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Correct. So this is for the element 1, and all the elements are of same nature. Okay, so therefore my global stiffness matrix is 4 by 4. One 10810.8. This will be common. So this will be 1 minus 1 minus 1. This will come 2 minus 1 minus 1. This will come 2 minus 1 minus 1. This will come 1. So rest of the thing I'll put as a 0. Okay, and I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my global stiffness matrix. So you can write down this, or just let me know this is correct or not, or whether you understood. If you have understood, just let me know you got the thing, this global stiffness matrix. Okay. Fine. Now we will go to the convective load. Okay. So we will prepare HT1, which will be equal to H into T ambient into length of element no, why T ambient? This is the resistive load. I don't want resistive load, I want stiffness. So that is H into LE by 3T 2 1 1 2. Okay, so for element 1 connected able, it is 1 2 1 2. Okay, so my H is 9 watts, length is 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by 3 into 0.1 into 10 to the power minus 2. The 0.1 is what centimeter is what thickness, and that goes to 2112. Okay, so now you calculate this value. Okay, and just let me know. Okay, so 99.9. So I got 2, 1, 1, 2. From the connectivity table 1 to 1, 2. Okay, clear. Now my global stiffness matrix due to convective load will be 4 by 4. First of all, I write down this 99.9. So 2, 1, 1, 4. Okay, so then 1, 1, 4, 1, 1 and 2. Okay, rest will be 0. So this is the stiffness, additional stiffness added because of the convective load. Okay, so this is the global stiffness matrix due to convective heat transfer. So just let me know whether you understood this global stiffness matrix because of convective load. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just let me know whether you understood this global stiffness matrix. Okay, thank you. Now we'll prepare total stiffness matrix. Okay, so KT will be equal to, okay, so that will be of course addition. So you have to add this two terms. Okay, so it will be K plus HT. Okay, so now go for the addition and post the screenshot. Okay, then I will write here. Just keep in mind, only there will be addition at the diagonal, and at rest of the location there is a subtraction will be occurring. Okay. So I am writing this value. If it is incorrect, just let me know. So 11010.6 minus 10710.9. So just I will confirm. One more answer I have received. Okay, 0, 0, then so this will be minus 10710.9. So this will be 2 times 22.21.2 minus 10710.9. This will be 0. Then these two are 0. This will be 0 minus 10710.9. This will be, why this is decimal? 2. Here 0 has to be there. Okay. So 220.21.2 minus 10710.9 minus 10710.9, finally 11010.6. So this is how I got the now my global thickness matrix with conduction and convection. Okay. Now I have to calculate the resistive load. So my resistive load, that is because of my ambient condition, will be equal to H T ambient, length of an element, divided by T, and 1. Okay. This will be equal to H is 9, T ambient is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. Length of element is 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 2, and the thickness is 0.1 into 10 to the power minus 2. 1, and from the connected table this is 1, 2. Okay, so just let me know these values please. Okay, so I just write down these values. Now, okay, ROE, whose answer is correct, beta? Five nine nine four. Okay. 1. This is what I got. Okay. So now what I do, I'll go for the global assembly. So I write this as a capital R 5994, and it will be 1 2 2 1. So this is my global load matrix because of the ambient condition. Okay, this is my global load matrix because of the ambient condition. 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, now of course I will have also a applied load matrix, that is Q matrix, and I'm not using A anywhere. A I am assumed to be unity, and if it is given, neglect it, H, because already we have assumed that the thickness is very small and the cross-sectional area and the perimeter, they are cancelling, their parameters are cancelling each other. So therefore Q is equal to Q1 dot Q2 dot, I can call this as a Q dot only, and of course area is there, then it becomes Q. So but area is cancelling out each other. Here also area is there, which we cancelled out. Q3 dot and Q4 dot. Okay. Now all these values are 0. We haven't applied any kind of heat flux. Okay. Nowhere we said that this much amount of heat is either generated or heat is transferred from so and so, or there is no way it is mentioned that the so and so heat flux is applied. Okay. Now because of this, if I add this, the total net load will come as 5994. Okay, 1 2 2 1. So this is my total load. So if they have mentioned Q, then you can use Q. Generally now they have mentioned the wall temperature. Okay, so therefore there is no question of Q1. If they have mentioned Q, then they won't mention a wall temperature. In that case you have to find out what is going to be wall temperature. Okay, so finally my FEM equation is, okay, this area I will require, so I just write down somewhere here KQ equal to F. This is my FEM equation. That is what I am going to write down now. Okay, so it is 11010.6 minus 10710.900 minus 10710.9, and here in this case 22021.2 minus 10710.90 minus 10710.9, then 22021.2 minus 10710.9 minus 10710.9 and 11010.6. This is my K. Okay, ऊपर क्यों चला गया? Okay, I'll erase this portion. These two terms are 0, and the temperature. So T1 is given as 235 degrees Celsius, T2 is unknown, T3 is unknown, and T4 is unknown. that is equal to my F. So 5994. So just multiply these two and let me know this value, please. One 988, 11988 and 1. Okay, now this value is known to me. Okay, so what, Abhishek? 259.519 degree. I did not got. T2. Okay, so fine. So you have to use elimination approach. So this is known to me now. Okay, so I can say I want to eliminate this, like this row I want to eliminate. Okay, and this column I want to eliminate. Okay, but now I cannot do it because this into T2, okay, this into T2 is a some value, okay, and that has to be added on this side. Of course, this value is also there, so I can eliminate this row, there is no issue, but this column is there, see, okay, 10710.9. So this column I cannot eliminate it. I can eliminate the row, okay, because this is known to me, and therefore I could easily eliminate this, as this is going to come 59/4. But I cannot eliminate this column. Why? Because this value into 235 is a positive value. It is not 0. Okay, so I need to multiply this into this, and I have to take it back here. So now what I do? This will be my plus, since this is negative. So I have to add here on the second row. Okay, plus 10710.9 into 235. So this will be added on to this, and now I can eliminate this. Okay, considering this to be now 0. So this is, I moved on this side, so this becomes now 0. Okay, so now and I don't have to worry about these two values because these are already 0. Okay, so now my equation remains. Can you add these two? Just let me know this value after adding. I'm writing this 22021.2 minus 10710.9 0 minus 10710.9, and this will be 22021.2 minus 107.9, and I'll have 0 here, minus 107.109 11010.6. So this is my matrix. I'll have here in this case T2, T3, T4. Okay, and this will be equal to 25290.5. Okay, then 11988 So why I have written 1 here? 5994. 5994. So this is my sets of equation. Now you can use your program. In examination, you have to solve by Gauss elimination, or else you are not going to get marks. So you will get marks up to this, and after this, whatever you solve, you are not going to get any marks. So ensure you use the Gauss elimination in exam. Okay. So but now currently you can use the program. So K plus HT is not T is not taken. Somebody is saying, but T is 0.1. So I have written here. This is K plus HT, and T is 0.1, and this value is coming to be 99.99. So T is actually 0.1. If you are talking about this H of T, it is a symbol. So this is the representation. This is the one thing. It is not H into T multiplication. If that is the confusion. I believe this is T. HT is this. So H is not going to vary, that is 9. Length of element is fixed. 3 is fixed. Width is fixed. So this is for the element 1. So therefore for assembly of element is going to come like this. Okay. And K plus HT is like this if you have calculated K correctly. Okay. So HT same. It is not going to change because these are dimensions that those are not going to change for the. Okay, these are the basically a resistance or the stiffness of an element. This does not dictate how much heat is going to transfer. Okay, so it is resistance of that element or the stiffness of that element, how it is going to go, how it is going to resist the heat flow, and that resistance depends on the property of elements and the dimensional values of the that element. So dimensional values of all the elements are same, and the property, that is overall heat transfer coefficient, that is also going to same, so it is not going to get changed. Okay, and of course the load is also going to remains the same, because the ambient condition on each and every element is same. Okay. Okay, has anybody calculated T2, T3, T3, T4? Hurry. How come these values are coming? Yes. Anybody else can just let me know these values are correct or not. Okay. So 20.8 to 09.8. So I just use one decimal. You have to use more decimal. Okay. So 195.2 and 190.46. Okay. So I hope these are more accurate answers. Okay. Now the temperature distribution we have calculated. We have to go for the how much total loss we have got it. Okay. So that is divided by heat loss of each element. Okay. Heat loss of each element is equal to H. Okay. Into T average minus T ambient into surface area. Okay, so this is the fin. So this is AS, top surface. So this is width is given as 1 meter. Okay, and length is given as 10 centimeter of all, and length of each element is 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 2. Therefore, surface area for each element is 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 2 into 1, and it has a heat loss from top side as well as from bottom side, so this will be multiplied by factor 2. Okay, so this 2 is important because it is double-sided heat loss. So I just write HE1 H, okay, T average. So T1 is 235 and T2 is 209.8. Therefore, T average of element 1 is 235 by 2 plus 209.8. So if you calculate this, so 235 plus 209.8 divided by 2. Okay, I made a mistake. 235 plus 209.8 divided by 2. So I got 224 degrees Celsius. Okay. Therefore, that will be equal to 222.4 minus T ambient is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this area is, I can write as 6.66 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, so H is 9. So just let me know this value, please. He1. So 121.318 watts. So similarly, you calculate He2, you calculate He3, okay, and finally total heat loss from fin will be equal to He1 plus He2 plus He3. Okay, so that's how you are going to get it. Okay, so you can try as a part of homework, calculate He2, He3. So it's a simple thing. I don't think so any explanation is needed. Okay, and you will get the total heat loss. Okay, so I hope this is clear to me. Just let me know, just please. Okay, you can calculate home. Just let me know this is clear to you.